Unless you happen to be legally blind, it should be painfully obvious that I'm a huge fucking nerd. I'm honestly surprised it's taken me this long to talk about an anime video game. For most anime fans my age, I think it's fair to assume that most of us started out watching Dragon Ball. You know, the show about shirtless dudes with huge muscles staring at each other for episodes on end. In other terms, the manliest show ever. And as a kid, I ate that shit up. I had Dragon Ball trading cards, movies, and much more. But most importantly, video games. Now, when most people think about Dragon Ball games, they probably think about Dragon Ball Z Budokai. But I'm not talking about that one today. Instead, we're going to look into the distant past of 1988 and look at the first Dragon Ball game released by Bandai Namco, Dragon Power. Wait, that doesn't look like Dragon Ball. Who the hell is this Ryu-looking dude? Is that supposed to be Goku? Hashtag not my Goku. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball wasn't popular here in the States back then, so Bandai decided to strip out all the references to the show and sell it as a generic kung fu game. So what happens when you tear all the life out of Dragon Ball and sell its corpse for a quick buck? Let's find out. This is Dragon Power. This story began ages ago, deep within the mountains far... Oh, I must have had something stuck in my throat. So this old man here lays down the information we need to get this adventure started. So Goku, hey, I know that name, and his companion Nora, and you lost me again. So Goku and Nora are on a journey to find the 7 crystal balls. Why do they need all 7? This is an NES game, we don't have time for story. Level 1. Okay, let's go on a trip. How do we search? Use this, Dragon Radar. Now, let's go. Top-notch storytelling. Finally, the game begins and oh god! Is that supposed to be Goku? He looks like a small monkey child. I know he has a tail in the anime, but this little monkey kid doesn't even look like the guy on the cover. They aren't even the same age. Never felt so lied to by a game cover before. So you make your way through the mountains fighting these little... I don't even know how to describe them. Dog heads on legs? I'm still not sure if that's cute or a nightmare. Being an NES game, there are only 2 buttons, A to jump and B to punch. Don't be expecting anything fancy here. The most complex thing in the game is the Kamehameha... Oh no, I'm sorry, I mean the Wind Wave. The way the manual describes this technique is so weird to me. Use for Wind Wave. After Goku gets Wind Wave, if you keep pressing the B button, Goku will make Wind Wave pause. At that time, if you press A button, you can eject Wind Wave. What does that even mean? So he does the hand motions if you hold the attack button, and then when you press the other button, he'll fire it off. That doesn't look anything like the Kamehameha from the show. It's a little underwhelming. After beating the shit out of a couple of those dog things, you walk through this door and fight this big guy right here. The game turns into a side-scrolling fighting game for some reason, but the gameplay doesn't change in any way to reflect this, so you're still just gonna hug the guy and punch the crap out of him, hoping that his health goes down faster than yours. Once he's dead, Nora appears and tells us that someone's kidnapped her! Who? I literally just beat up the biggest guy here. I'm sure that no one can stand up to me. We continue to fight our way up this mountain, fighting more dog things and fucking dinosaurs armed with bombs? All this sure is exciting, but Nora keeps interrupting the game to tell me that I'm not rescuing her fast enough. Look lady, I'm going as fast as I can. Maybe you should be a little nicer to the only person who knows you're in trouble. I could just leave you here to be murdered by... I still don't know what to call these things. You finally make your way up the mountain and walk through a door, and then, I guess, Nora wasn't in trouble after all. It was just a prank, bro. Let it go. We can't hang around here. Here, let me fix that for you. And perfect. Also, why is her mouth moving like that? It's fucking weird. Stop it! So we're finally out of the mountains, but there's a rock blocking the path. So we do the only thing worth doing.
Goku smash!
But it turns out it wasn't a rock after all. Instead, we were beating the life out of a poor defenseless turtle. The turtle here is just lost and wants our help leading him to the sea. Seems like a reasonable request, and something any nice person would agree with, right, Nora? Don't joke, we have no time. Well, you know what, Nora? fuck you. I'm gonna bring this turtle to the ocean myself. Just see if you can stop me. Oh, so it turns out the turtle's home was just straight ahead. In fact, you probably could have seen it from where we found him. So I think we may have given the poor thing brain damage. Hi, I am Hermit. Who helped him? The turtle explains that it was Goku who walked him about 30 feet back to his house, and the old man is so grateful, he gives us a gift. The Swift Cloud. Jump on well. That greedy bitch Nora jumps in and announces that she deserves a gift as well, even though when she found the turtle, she just wanted to leave his brain-damaged corpse there on the side of the path and continue on. Luckily for her, the old man is a little more understanding and agrees to give her a gift. For something in return. Her sandwich. The turtle over here tries to interject something, but I don't understand what he's saying. Why do you and Hermit want it? What? I'm sorry, Hermit. It might be in the turtle's best interest if you just put him down. Nora willingly gives the wise old hermit her sandwich, and he proceeds to freak the fuck out over it. And he gladly hands over his crystal ball in exchange. So that scene was weird, right? Allow me to shed some light on things. The old man character here is supposed to be Master Roshi, aka the Turtle Hermit from the original Dragon Ball. You can even see his original sprite here in the manual. If you've never seen the show, Roshi's main trait is that he's a huge pervert. In the original Japanese version of the game, he doesn't ask poor, defenseless, underage Nora for her sandwich, but instead, for her panties. Now, when Bandai was bringing the game over to the States, that would have been a huge no-no, but they didn't want to spend the time and effort to redo those scenes, so they just flipped the triangles over and made them sandwiches. It feels like turning panties into sandwiches is probably the most useless magical power you could have. It sure is delicious, though. Level 2 takes place in a quiet village that is tired of being terrorized by the small child known as Pudgy, who has the power to shapeshift. So the townspeople bribe us into beating up a kid with another irresistible crystal ball. This level sucks. You have to walk around all these houses and punch mannequins, and they will either transform into a bad guy or a flying pig head. You don't actually have to kill anything, just find the pig thing and move on. It's super monotonous, and this soundtrack isn't helping at all. It's the same music from level 1, but it's so much worse here, because every time you enter or exit a house, it starts playing from the beginning. And that's the entire point of this level. It plays the same notes, over and over again. Whatever, once you find the pig thing enough, you get to enter this rather intricate looking building that looks nothing like this on the inside. Pause. So what you're about to see is a boss fight. Don't blink because you might miss it. I don't even know what happened. I guess maybe I was supposed to smash things to find him, but I just walked over stuff and that was it. The whole fight was less than 2 seconds long. So when we bring Pudgy back to town to face justice, everyone forgives him because he's just a cute little pig boy. The next level is where things start to get really hard. I haven't mentioned it yet, but even if you aren't getting attacked, your health is constantly draining due to a system they call hunger. The only reason this is here is to make the game harder and to pad out its length. I tried. I really did, but I died here so much. I hate doing this, but I really wanted to see some more cutscenes. So I cheated. Sue me. Now I have infinite health, and as a result, I'm not going to talk about difficulty anymore. This level is basically just a harder version of the last one, except we're fighting the desert bandit Lancer instead of a pig. Once we beat the bandit, Nora remarks about how handsome he was. Meanwhile, Lancer is going to follow us and steal our crystal balls when we have all 7. Well, that's Lancer! Now we have to fight our way up another mountain, but this one's on fire. It's too much for us to handle though, so we call the help of an old friend. Everybody's favorite kooky old man, the Hermit! When he arrives, he says he's willing to help us out, but only if he gets something in return. Nora's lunch. Jesus, this old man really has a hard-on for Nora's food. Well, it turns out the Hermit is swole as fuck under those robes and puts out the fires with a massive Kamehameha wind wave. Nora starts freaking out when Goku tells her that the Hermit wants her lunch, but Master Roshi tells her that she has to. After all, you own me. So she sneaks away and convinces Pudgy to transform into her so he can feed the old man some burgers, and she retains her lunch purity. What follows is the biggest overreaction to a burger I've ever seen. Hi. Hi, you irritate me. I have burgers and sandwiches. How's that? So, Mark. What does that even mean? So, obviously in the original version of the game, Nora did not give the Hermit burgers. No, instead, and I shit you not, he wanted to touch her boobs. Peekaboo! They tried to lazily hide it here, but there's still something uncomfortable about this scene. It might be the hand movements, or maybe the fact that Nora is fucking crying while feeding him. I need to move on. In the next level, a giant rabbit turns Nora into a carrot. Yes, that really is a thing I just said. I thought I just had to chase him down, but instead you have to go into all these buildings and find 4 carrots. Because the carrots are always hiding in plain sight, I just poke my head in and leave if it's not there. With all the carrots in hand, you get to face the bunny man himself, and he kills me? The cheats. They failed me. Turns out that if you touch him, he turns you into a carrot and you die. Luckily, he's super predictable, and the second time he goes down without much resistance. He turns Nora back, and as Goku puts it, rabbit saw the moon. Damn, that is cold-blooded, Goku. Finally, I have all the crystal balls, and we get to make a wish. And if this game has taught me anything, it's that sandwiches equal power. So I make the obvious choice. The obviously wrong choice, because it just shows Roshi frothing at the mouth over sandwiches. So in the original game, there was a bunch of levels that took place during a martial arts tournament, and for some reason they cut out that whole section when they brought it over to the States. Instead, it just skips right to the final set of levels. The Revenge of the Bunny Man. It's a boss rush of levels that has you fighting a variety of enemies. So in rapid fire, you fight Weird Alien Thing, Rabbit Man, Red Crabs, Blue Crabs, Mermen, more Mermen, even more Mermen, slightly racist Jungle King and his somehow even more racist lackeys, Krillin, who actually doesn't fight all that well, dudes you just have to run past, Green Crabs, Warrior Guy, I don't even know what this is, and finally the final boss of the game, the most memorable Dragon Ball bad guy of all time. Yo-Yo Robot. Wait, who? I swear to God, I do not remember this villain from the show at all. The Dragon Ball wiki says it's supposed to be this guy, but I'm not seeing the resemblance. Once he's dead, we get to make one final wish, with the exact same choices as before. Yay. Now it's time for me to pass judgment onto a worthless piece of plastic. I caught that. Part of me wants to love this game because at one point or another, it was Dragon Ball, and I love Dragon Ball. The other part of me wants to tear this game apart for the horrible localization it went through. But the thing is, neither of those things make the game better or worse. It's just average. Even if they had left all the references to the original show, at best we'd be able to look back and say, hey, you remember that mediocre Dragon Ball game with all the weirdly sexual cutscenes? The problem with Dragon Power isn't the censorship. It's that the game's just meh. You do the same thing over and over again with nothing to mix it up. On top of that, most people probably never saw past the 3rd level because of its absurd difficulty. So at the end of the day, I think Dragon Power is just better off being forgotten. Which is why I made a video talking about it. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go use that last wish in order to wish for this video to end. If you've enjoyed my odd sense of humor, be sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons to let me know. As I said, I'm a huge anime fan, so if you've got any recommendations for anime shows or video games that you liked, let me know in a comment, or on Twitter at moral_paradox. Also, I'm just throwing this out there, but there are other videos on my channel to check out, like these 2 on the screen right now, so go give them a click. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go back and play more Xenoverse 2. The game is just about taken over my life. Until next time, peace.